Congressman from Texas and member of the House Appropriations Committee, Tony Gonzales. Congressman, you are spending the holiday, Christmas, Merry Christmas, by the way, doing something very important on the border. But just before we talk about that,
Griff.
Anita, for reaction on the other side of the aisle, let's go to Republican Congressman from Texas and member of the House Appropriations Committee, Tony Gonzales. Congressman, you are spending the holiday, Christmas, Merry Christmas, by the way, doing something very important on the border. But just before we talk about that, you heard your colleague Debbie Dingell talking about not giving up hope despite Senator Manchin torpedoing the Build Back Better. She believes something might get done in the new year. Your reaction?
Yeah, first, Merry Christmas, Griff. And you know what? Merry Christmas to the American people, for Joe Manchin stepping up and making sure that that Build Back Better socialist bill doesn't go anywhere. I'm glad it died in 2021. I hope it dies forever in 2022. The bottom line is inflation is through the roof. The last thing we need to do is fill more pork into government spending. I'm glad Senator Manchin was able to push back against it. I hope he keeps it up.
Now, Congressman, let's turn to the border where you are. You are doing something very unique on Christmas Day. Explain.
Yeah, Griff, you've spent so much time at the border, and I appreciate that. You're an honorary Texan. What I wanted to do today was highlight our Border Patrol agents are on the job 24/7, 365 days a year. I started the morning in Eagle Pass. Then we visited Border Patrol agents in Del Rio and Comstock. This afternoon, I'll visit Sanderson, Alpine, and Marfa, Texas. Our Border Patrol agents have had a brutal year, and they're doing everything possible. While it may be Christmas, it's really Groundhog Day in South Texas. When I was in the Del Rio processing center, there were over 100 migrants already. It wasn't even 8 o'clock, and there was already 100 migrants there. These Border Patrol agents have done everything possible to keep America safe.
My hat's off to them, the men and women in green and the Texas DPS working around the clock. We're looking at pictures you've sent in from just this morning where you were in Del Rio and Eagle Pass. Talk to me just for a moment, because many are away from families, working hard today. What is the morale like among the men and women in green?
Yeah, it's really tough to see because they're numb to it. That's the best word I can put to it. Border Patrol agents are numb to what is happening. And many of them have families. They're blue collar, hardworking Americans that put their boots on, go to work every day, including Christmas. That's what we wanted to highlight, is they're out there on the front lines trying to keep America safe. I urge people to stay engaged. Go to standwithborderpatrol.com, find the latest on what's happening, whether it's Christmas or any other day. The border is on fire. It hasn't slowed down one bit. Agents are tired and they need help. And we in Congress have to come together. We should all be rooting for Border Patrol to be successful, to prevent another 9/11 event type of occurrence from happening. Today is about Border Patrol being on the front lines, and I'm grateful for them.
And Congressman, it's not just people. We have to remind Americans the narcotics that come across the border. When I was down in Eagle Pass last week with the DPS, Texas DPS, Lieutenant Christopher Olivares showing me the drugs they've seized and talking about in specifically the Rio Grande Valley they've seized. This is Texas DPS, mind you, not even the Border Patrol stash. 887 pounds of fentanyl, which equates more than 200 million possibly lethal doses.
Yeah, I'm in Del Rio, Texas, literally right on the border right now. But what has happened is every city in America has become a border city because of just what you mentioned. The fentanyl and the illegal narcotics that is coming over is killing our children. And it's very real. It's a very real threat that all of us should get behind. I just wanted to highlight today, on Christmas, while we're spending time with our families and loved ones, just know Border Patrol agents are standing to watch, and they're protecting Americans. Sadly, too many of them are in processing centers. We need to get them out of the processing center, and we need to get them back out in the field where they belong so they can keep the drugs and terrorists away from our border.
Yeah, get them back on the line. Over the more than decade I've spent with Border Patrol agents down there, they have consistently told me they need three things: manpower, technology, and infrastructure. We anchored the show last Saturday from down where Texas is building their own wall. Are you getting a sense about whether that may try and help things?
It will. The bottom line is this is a federal government issue, and only the federal government can ultimately solve this, and they can ultimately solve it with policy. That's why I urge the Biden administration come together, work with Democrats and Republicans alike to secure our border. It's in everybody's best interest, but it is encouraging to see the state of Texas, kind of take a lead effort on it, and there needs to be more of it. What I'd also say is, the Biden administration recently re-implemented the Remain in Mexico policy, the Trump policy that worked. But sadly, the numbers have been so few. Only 188 folks have been processed under that Remain in Mexico policy. That's 15 a day. When you're seeing thousands come over, it's a drop in the bucket. More needs to be done. When Republicans win back the House, we're going to take lead and we're going to implement some of these policy changes.
And we will try and keep track on those numbers. A very important point. Tony Gonzales, thank you very much, Congressman, for coming on Christmas. We wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas, as well as please extend that to all of the men and women of the Border Patrol working today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Griff.
All right. And tomorrow, during